What's going on YouTube? In this video, I'm gonna be talking about three topics. Now I know I love to ramble a lot and that can be super boring, so I'll try my very best to keep it short and sweet. So topic one, my experiences in La Plan, coming back to the competitive scene, the good and the bad. Topic two, practical tips for players coming back maybe to the competitive scene just like me, or you're starting your competitive journey. These tips are for you. And topic three is going to be just what's next for me and what to expect on the channel. So let's get going. So topic number one, my experiences. As I said in my previous video, everything was great. La Plan was beautiful, the venue was good, everything was just awesome. Now, what made it really enjoyable and easy for me was the fact that I only had to focus on two things. That was my chess / my preparation and my students' chess and her preparation. And that was all possible thanks to my students' parents. They were there and they are one of the kindest people I have ever met. They are super loving and caring, and I appreciate them and I love them so much. So yeah. So again, everything was great. Now let's move on to the bad part. Technically, there wasn't anything bad. So, or at least it wasn't that it was the tournament's fault. Everything was quote unquote bad. That's how I kind of experienced it. But again, it had nothing to do with the tournament. So one of the things was the fact that it was 9 rounds. Now, again, it was not the tournament's fault, but it was just a lot for me. Coming back from a big hiatus, 9 rounds was just a lot for me. At round 8, at the end of round 8, I was like, oh, it's enough. Let's just go home. And there was still one more round, and you guys all saw what happened. So yeah, that was one thing. Now, the other thing was the fact that, and I kind of forgot this, but I just, again, realized and kind of experienced that chess players are just drama queens. It's unbelievable, right? So I get it, of course. Everything, is so intense. Everyone is focusing on their games and they want to do well, of course. But they are just I don't know, weird a little bit, what can I say? So just a few quick stories, right? So 2 of them. Let me try to keep it short. So there was a professional photographer of the tournament. So in one round, he was there taking pictures. He had a big ass camera, but whenever he took pictures, it didn't sound like there was no clicking sound or anything. So it wasn't a problem, I think. But there was one guy, and of course a grandmaster, right? And then, he was taking pictures of him or whatever, I don't know. And then he stood up and he was like, no, let's not do it. And they went back and forth. And then, he got just so riled up and he got, I don't know. And I was like, bro, it's not that deep. I mean, again, maybe I'm in the wrong here. Maybe he was bothered. But I felt like, you know what? It's not that deep. Just move on. Let him do his job. And it literally took him 3 seconds and then he moves on. But yeah, whatever. So that was one thing that I found a little bit weird. There was another case where, in one of the rounds, the board next to me, there was a 2300 guy playing against a lower rated Indian girl lady, right? And that lady was well put together, and she smelled nice. She had perfumes on, right? It was intense, but it wasn't too intense, right? You could smell it. And by the way, again, it was a nice smell, but it wasn't a problem again. And also, no one said anything. She sat next to me. I didn't say a single thing. Her opponent didn't say a single thing, right? 20 moves around, maybe 15 or 20 moves into the game, an hour into the game, right? And then her opponent He's like, I think I'm allergic. I'm allergic to your perfume. So I want you to stand up, right? And I don't want you to be on the board. And I was like, I looked over because I was right there at the moment, and then I overheard this conversation. I was like, what's going on? Like I cannot believe this, right? That was like the weirdest thing. And then the girl was so kind that she was like, well, okay, I'm so sorry. And then she stood up, and then she actually didn't sit down, right? And then like quite a few minutes later, then she sat down. She was like, I'm sorry, I want to sit down. And then she started wiping her perfume off, and then it was like, it was just such a weird experience. It was the weirdest thing. And you know what? Again, maybe I'm in the wrong here. Maybe he was allergic, right? Again, he didn't say anything, and he only said something when the position got complicated, when things were heating up on the board. That was the only time he said something. So that was weird. And also the fact that the way he said it, right? Like, he made the girl stand up from the board because he said so, right? He didn't say anything to the arbiter. It was wild to me, right? And again, maybe I'm in the wrong here, but that was the way he did it, and the situation was like so absurd. And again, it wasn't even that problematic, and also he didn't say anything. You get the point. Anyway, that was weird.
Daddy, chill.
And then one last thing, just people in general, right? When they are playing the game, they are just somewhere else. And so it happened numerous times. Maybe they were like, maybe it was just me. Maybe again, I'm in the wrong here. But people kept bumping into me. I was just, standing somewhere, minding my own business, watching another game, and then they just bumping into me. And then of course, like, a lot of time they said sorry, but I was like, what's going on? Like, they're just full, like, super concentrated, super like into it. So yeah, that was weird. So yeah, but again, it had nothing to do with the tournament in itself. It's not the tournament's fault. It was just, I forgot that how chess players can be when they are competing, and I'm sure they are not like this when they are, and I know for a fact they are not like this when they are not competing, but when chess players are competing, they are just like, they are different animals, so that was weird a little bit. So my takeaway from this is that, you can be a human, like a decent human being, just because you're competing. I get it, you take it seriously, I take it seriously too, but I try to treat everyone normally while I'm competing. So I mean, it's yeah, that's it. But honestly, nothing else was quote unquote bad. These are the just a few things that I saw that were. So, topic 2, practical tips. If you're a returning player like me, or you're about to start your competitive journey, these tips are hopefully for you. And if you are already a competitive player and you're competing regularly, feel free to share your own tips in the comment section below. I want to learn from it, and hopefully all of us can learn from your tips. So these are my tips in no particular order. These are the tips that I find really important, and tips that I should have paid more attention to in my previous tournament. So let's go. So tip number 1 is getting enough sleep. This one is quite self-explanatory, but still, some games can last 4, 5, 6+ hours, and also the tournament can last 7, 8, 9, even 10 or 11 rounds. So you need to stay sharp and fit throughout the game and throughout the tournament. So I also kind of paid the price for it in my tournament around, round 8. At the end of round 8, as I said, right, I was have that. I was just like, I felt like a zombie, to be completely honest with you, and it's just not great. Now I know it's not that easy. Like if I just go off of with my example, of course, I slept in a different bed. I didn't sleep next to my wife. So all of these things made it, more difficult, of course. But the fact that I didn't go to bed earlier and I didn't get literally enough sleep in terms of hours, that made it, difficult. So I think that this is one of the most important things that you can pay attention to. Just be rested before the game so you can stay sharp throughout the whole game. So tip number 2 is be prepared. This one is not just about being prepared for one specific round or one specific game or opponent. Yes, of course, it's important, it's essential, and do the work, of course, don't be lazy. So do whatever you need to do. Check all the lines, check the new games, turn on the engine, find novelties if you need to, put in the actual hours into it, but that's not everything. And that leads me to my second point, which is be prepared overall, right? So you have to have a very solid foundation, whether we talk about overall knowledge or, theoretical opening knowledge. You need to have, that solid fundamental stuff, right? So even me, in this last competition, it was something that I struggled with, because I relied too much on preparation, right? And if you don't have that very solid foundation where like, hey, there's always like something that I can fall back, right? Like you have a solid line that that you played and it's good, you checked it, whatever. If you don't have those, then you can easily find yourself in trouble, because once you're out of the book, you're like, you have to make decisions, right? And if you're not prepared in general, whether again, overall knowledge or theoretical knowledge, you can find yourself in somewhat of a pickle. You're going to be slower, you're not going to be as confident. I could go on and on and on. I think we all get the point. Be prepared. Be prepared for the specific game, but overall, be prepared, and that'll definitely boost your results. So tip number 3, and my last tip, is don't worry about losses. AKA, just enjoy.
Why are you gay?
If you want to be successful long term, you need to learn to fight. If you make certain decisions on the board because you're afraid to lose your rating, or whatever excuse you have, to be honest, it will bite you back in the long run. I know in the short run, you might gain a little bit of rating or you don't lose that much, but you will not benefit from it. And this is something that I struggled with all my life. So I know, and I always made decisions based off of like, okay, but I just really don't want to lose. I just really don't want to lose. And even now that I'm not even a professional chess player, I still made the same decision in round 2 in this tournament, and I offered a draw in a completely playable position against someone much lower rated, because of like, but what if I lose, right? You will not benefit from it by saving a few ratings here and there, right? You need to embrace those losses. You can learn from them. Those are very good moments to learn from your mistakes. And once you do that, you can come back stronger, bounce back, and then you'll be more successful. Trust me, I've gone the other path. It's a bad path. Trust me, it's no good for you in the long run. You will pay the price for it. So just enjoy, play out every game, fight no matter what. Fight. And there's so many, I'm sure there's so many tips, but out of all the tips that's out there, I feel like this is also such a key one, or at least for me, and I hope that you can benefit from this tip as well. So these were my tips. Again, sleep, be prepared, and don't worry about losses. All right, let's move on to topic 3, what's next for me.
Okay.
So topic 3, last topic, I promise I'll stop talking after this. So what's next for me and what's next for the channel? Me, I'm gonna continue competing, and I'm actually going to compete very soon in Barcelona. Messi, sí señor, vamos Rafa. So I am competing in Barcelona. Let me show you the tournament. So I'm going to compete at the Sands City of Barcelona International Chess Open. It's a very strong tournament. It's actually a very strong tournament. Last year it was really packed. A lot of grandmasters, over 2,600 grandmasters. So it's gonna be a good one. 9 rounds again, of course. I really need to, listen to my own tips and, be prepared and fit and, not tired, but we'll see. Hopefully it'll work out. And what's next for the channel, you might ask. No one asked, but I'll answer anyway. So what's next for the channel? Well, I'm going to do recaps of this tournament as well, and so there's still almost a week until my competition. So I'm going to make a video or two about some chess topics. So we'll go back. Enough of me talking and rambling. So I'm gonna keep on doing some chess videos in the meantime. But again, I'm going to do some recaps of this Barcelona tournament as well. And so while we're here at this topic, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you want to see from me in terms of chess stuff, and also in terms of recap? So did you like this format where obviously the tournament ended and I came home, I prepared, and I didn't rush with the videos, or you want me to do it somewhat live, or once the game ended I immediately analyze it and I upload it? So it's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be a little bit different, of course, but if you want to see that more, I'll try my best to do it. And also feel free to comment what you want to see from me in terms of chess. What kind of topics do you want me to talk about? Openings, middle games, even end games? Do you want me to go over some of your games, viewer games, or top player games, or just recap different tournaments as well? So let me know what you want to see. I have some ideas, but of course I am more than happy to listen to your ideas, and if they are cool, and I might as well do them. So yeah, that's it from me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't think you did. It was a lot of talking and no chess, but still, hopefully maybe you can take some things away from this as well. Anyway, I will see all of you in the next one. Yeah, take care.